whose skill and courage started it all.
Aviation today is that too many good ideas are being dissipated in too many aeroplanes. If we could bring together all these different types from all over the world, then everyone could learn from each other.
From all over the world? From all over the world they came. America, Italy, Germany, France, Japan, England, to compete in the first, the most fabulous, the most foolhardy air race of all time. And here was the English beauty who had them all up in the air.
Are you two fighting over me?
The trouble with these international affairs is that they attract foreigners. He's not supposed to carry passengers.
So, welcome back. I'm going to finish the story about Naples and its timeline, and I'm going to explain another one of the, this time, 20th century earthquakes. Yeah, as we get down the timeline, we're getting close to modern day warfare, where you don't have to kill people in the religious conflict single-handedly. You can do it very soon with atom bombs. Yeah, and the Zeppelin concept was launched out of Germany, and that's the Bismarck plot. Yeah, the Bismarck was part of the shipping frauds in profiteering in wartime as well, but the big issues are about the joke about Jesus Christ and his need to use flying machines, because he's a human creation. Let me show you the next one. Okay, the next one is really, really vicious, and you've seen it before. I'm going to take you, I'll give you a little look at the Piso menagerie, because this is religious fraud. Remember, this woman was born in a town called Bedford, yeah, just to the north of the no bombing zones, up the A1, just to the south of the place called Grapham, where I used to fish. Yeah, and there they specialise in making Zeppelins and their equivalents, and they have war profiteers like Bing Crosby who come and sing in that town. And Lily Allen, yeah, I don't know what her real name is or whether that is her real name, but she's had malformed children and she still laughs at these jokes. This is particularly vicious, and it could only happen with this generation that think that they are so shielded from acts of gods that nothing can happen to them. I don't know what our child's name is.
Somebody remind me where I am, Miami or Timbuktu. Did I ever tell you my uncle's monkey ran away from the zoo? Would you tell me what this all means? What happens if I go through that door? 'Cause I'm looking up at the ceiling, what is turning into the floor? When I'm born, I'm gonna drift away. I'm not sure I'll cry. All the work all day, I've been thinking, and I thought this time, let's go right now. Come meet me in the sky, I'll be waiting for you, and we can hear what they say. I'll be my I'm thinking I'm alone anytime you want to. No one's so high, I can't breathe. I'll be my
So, the Rothschild zebra. What are we going to do with the black bull in the field? Yet the joke that they were forced to share in the World War I trenches as they went to their deaths for the Rothschilds. Yeah, you strip the pyjamas off the horse, which is the hippos, and the black fascist bull shags it. I don't think that Lily Allen will be very strong with her morals. Yeah, she sings about the wet patch in her bedroom and the difficulty she has finding satisfaction in the sexual domain. She's a slut, really, and when you're prepared to laugh at this, it is not at all surprising.
The pain is all in my face. How the hell am I gonna tell him Elvis already took my space? And then out of the blue, this cruise is losing altitude we need. It's a little more elevation, take me to where I can breathe. When I'm bored, I'm gonna drift away. I'm not sure I'll cry. When we walk all day, I've been thinking, and I've got this plan. Let's go right now. Come meet me in the sky, I'll be waiting for you, and we can hear what they say. I'll be my thinking I'm alone anytime you want to.
Wait for it. I don't know how they dare do this. Yeah, now they would make cartoons of it. This song was only made maybe 2 years ago. It's a big hit, and it's quite a good song. It's a bit of a foot tapper, like knocking the nails in. I'm getting a bit jumpy.
Shake it now. Give me some. Sailing through the clouds. Shake it now. Shake it now. Give me some. Sailing through the clouds.
That's the mushrooms joke that is also in the Lord of the Rings film, and the psychedelic drugs that you get from that type of toadstool. Yeah, the toadstool joke is the joke about Frogmoor and kissing the toad and trying to find the perfect monarch or the perfect prince for your country. Okay. And right behind it you have the massive mountain face, and I believe this will be Cape Town in South Africa. Fascist as they come. you go. That's poor old Jesus. Never really gets home, does he? Yeah, but man went to the moon in the flying machines, and man launched him. Okay, and he becomes more powerful than God, and that is the last bit of the story I'm about to tell you on the writings of the Naples timeline. Okay, just one more little video clip to show you. I think we'll stop there. It's quite poignant. I don't know how they think that they will get away with that. We're going to have a rosy red sunset tonight, if there are any clouds left around. Okay, tomorrow I get onto the really big crime of the dogma that comes out of all of the new fraud centres of the writing about the primacy of the popes, and the fact that the popes are entitled to make decisions that are godly decisions. Yeah, and the fact that Mary the Virgin is actually the mother of God. I'm making that video tomorrow. Get your rubber boots on. Yeah, and if you don't have a lightning conductor near your home, get ready to put one in the next 24 hours. Yeah. It's shocking that the humans can take the piss out of the deities that created the universe this way. Right then, let's just see. Finished. Right then. Oh, I had another one on the electric train systems for the Fugitive movie, and the Fugitive movie is about a massive set of healthcare frauds. It occurs in Chicago, but let's see if I can find it. Fugitive electric trains, and they're trying to find the missing good guy who they think they can convict of murder, yet to get away literally. Oh no, I don't think I'm going to be able to find it. Let's see if I can phone call. And this combines, this movie, all of the stuff. Fugitive phone call YouTube. It combines all of the stuff about the underground being hell. Yeah, and it explains the making of the movies in Paris about the underground. No, there's a phone call. But it's not the one I just looked at. Trains in the background. Let's see if we can find that as a video. Now, just 5 minutes ago I looked at it before I set up those videos, but oh, there it is. So this is the elf joke, and you've seen how the elf joke is in the cover-ups of the Clinton Foundation. That's the Britney Spears ooh la la with the elves covering up the ecological banks. In this case, it's the underground system which becomes hell in their jokes.
Give yourself up. Now, tell me, where are you?
St. Louis. So he showed up not dead yet. Let that be a lesson to you boys and girls. Don't ever argue with the big dog. Big dog is always right.
Yeah, you've been right before.
All right.
Walter, this is Richard.
Richard, Jesus. Why did you run? Running makes you look guilty.
I wasn't worried about appearances, Walter.
Tell me where you are so I can come meet you and you can turn yourself in.
I'm not going to turn myself in. I need help. I need money.
I might be crazy, but that train sounds like an L.
St. Louis doesn't have an elevated train.
How do you know it's an elevated train?
Yeah, I think he's right. I lived under an L for 20 years.
Oh, well then you can explain the difference in the sound of an elevated train as opposed to a train that's running along the ground. You must have ears like an eagle. Play that back. I want to hear the sound of an elevated train.
All right, wait a minute. Now, what cities have L's? New York's got an L.
Philly.
We do.
We got an L. Milwaukee's got an
Hold it
L.
right there where the lawyer says that he sounds guilty. There's bells in the background. There's a guy on a PA. I want to drop everything but the guy on the PA. Can you...
Let me tell you now that Naples has an elf. And let's go straight there and finish that story. Yeah, Paris has an elf. London has an underground. They use it for terror, and it's hellish terror. We got to this point in the story about the timeline of Naples, and we got to this corrupted Pope who begins to share things with the Protestants because they're in financial services and they're visiting from the other capitals. Yeah, and a lot of them get buried in the English cemetery in Naples. Okay, so he looks jolly. This is where we finished off the last time, and the Protestants liked him. See English and Irish cemetery tabs. Okay, and we'll carry on down. So we've gotten to the year 1882 now, and this one is the one who sparked the earthquake, because he is the Pope when the Second Vatican Council proclaims the infallibility of the Pope. Okay, and he was known as the Pope and the King, and had a papal army to fight the communists. That's the ordinary working people that go to his sermons and do everything that they can to prevent their deaths, but that is impossible for most of them. Yeah. Okay, he also deregulated papal finance and handed it to the lay people, even Jews and Protestants who were buried after witnessing the quake. Okay, right then, so 1884, because the gods are really angry, they launch all sorts of pathologies on the human evil. 1884, cholera epidemic. 1 year later is proclaimed the big restoration of Naples. Okay, and in 1890 the elf electric tramways to HALLES, as in Chicago. Yet they've made it look as if it's just an L now. It's the electric tramways, and it is the joke about the little people, and it's the fairies and the goblins and the dwarfs, and the dwarves are those that also like to work in the underground. Yeah, that is in Moria in the Lord of the Rings film, and the biggest dwarf villain is Quisling, the Prime Minister in Norway, who sold his country to the Nazis without a fight. Okay, and here we've got the reason for the 1906 Mount Vesuvius eruption was that the Zulu wars in Africa were already underway. That's the last of the pagans, right down where Lily Allen was dancing around the mushrooms. Yeah, and the, what is it, the name of a poisonous mushroom? It's a toadstool. Do you get it? Yeah, and Richard Branson, the man that we talk about all of the time, is in charge of the psychedelic drug craze, and they use that all of the time since the Rolling Stones and the Beatles were launched, when they go to trade fairs and meetings for concerts, and it comes pissing down, and they have to piss in a plastic toilet, and the gods do not like that, because it's like what happened to the Jews in the Old Testament. They're sent on diasporas to follow everything that is the leadership of the twisted world owners team. That's the Old Testament, the New Testament, and all of the corrupted texts. Okay, right then, so this is the reason for the big Mount Vesuvius eruption in 1906, was that in Milan they had the gall to have an air balloon world expo festival. There it is. Okay, 1906 in Milan, where Berlusconi runs the Celtic joke. Okay, Berlusconi does not need to be elected because Italy is still fascist. Okay, 1925, we'll move on from that immediately because it is quite sick really, like Lily Allen's first child. 1925, Stadio Arturo Colano opens. In September, opening of the Metro Fs, the current line, first in Italy. I believe that is the metro system, the underground in HALLES. Used to be the Mithraeum, used to be the catacombs, and that was when they were the goodies, yeah, because that is where in the Mithraeum, with the mithril shirts on, all of the early evangelists launched the Church of Rome as a tool to cull the Jews in every country across the world. 1930, oh no, we've not highlighted that. 1940, bombing begins in inauguration of the Mostra d'Oltremare, an expositive and entertainment complex promoted by the fascist regime. Not sure I understand that, but I might have a closer look. Yeah, let's keep going because I want to end this video and take you into the much more serious dogma of the false religions that replace the real gods in the skies, and that's what the joke is about the circulating cross, and that is the air balloon jokes that are also in the Santa Monica Boulevard, sung about by that lovely woman who was picked to play the game with Sting in the Fields of Gold joke, but reneged on it. Yeah, Sheryl Crow, who also lost a tit because she laughs at the evil things that the humans have done. Yeah, and because she's unprepared to play the game and free the innocent people, yet she gets a horrible cancer. Yet, like the other woman, dark-eyed Molly, yet the one who sang about, Eva Cassidy, who sang about the fields of gold. Yeah, and everything taking her breath away, and God being incapable of doing that. So to demonstrate that God is watching everything she does, she dies in her mid-30s. Lovely blonde. All of that music, for shame, has been taken off the internet now, and I own a copy of my favourite album, and she also sings loyally about highwaymen. Yeah, the dark-eyed Molly is one of the 6 Jewish angel jokes. Okay, Naples is occupied by the Americans in 1944. In the same year, the last eruption of Vesuvius occurs. Yeah, I believe that they might be having them as we speak and in the lead up to my divorce proceedings. But I don't know, because I don't no longer take Rupert Murdoch's telly. So in 1944, Lucky Luciano culls all of the returning Italian troops. The Monte Cassino jokes for John Cleese. That's misspelt, it should have an E on the end. Okay? So, and what you've got in Naples by this time is the beginning of the launch of the skyscraper sector. Yet the building of those in New York with the monkey on the top, that is the King Kong films. Yet all about the hunter-gatherers and the people from the jungle. Yet being the last people who are able to confront this, that's me. Okay? Yeah, and that's me in the Duke of Roxburgh film about Greystoke, and it's the same actor that plays the role of the hero in the France Underground in Paris that is Tarzan on the billiard table in the movie about Greystoke. And Jane is the evil side of the story, because the Janeites are a false religion. Okay, 1971. Oh, here we go. 1959, we're getting really close. We're beyond my birth date now. Stadio San Paolo. Yeah, that's St. Paul, the non-existent evangelist, yeah, who worked with the Jewish cleric called Gamaliel, yeah, Bill Gamel, yeah, that is the launch of the stadium in Naples where the football team plays. The film Hands on the City is the strong complaint of the political, social and social climate of the time, 1963. That could have been when the French were involved, the Italians were involved in the genocides in the Ethiopian region. I'm only guessing. 1971, population of the commune reaches now 1.25 million. Okay, it's massive. And 1975, the Veli di Scampia, another shell joke and a scam with the word Pia on the end. Pia Arnold Harkinson or Hansen is the PA to Barroso, the head of the EU, trained by Kissinger at Georgetown University in America to steal from the entire continent of Europe and to launder everything into the World Bank and into the IMF in Washington. 1980, another big earthquake that destroys many little towns near Naples, same year as the first Jewish Pope, John Paul II. Yet, so this one was not in the timeline. That's why the one in 44 is listed as the last eruption. But what you've got is another one in 1980. Oh no, sorry, it's an earthquake. So, same year as the first Jewish Pope, John Paul II, visits Komi, Warsaw, and the IMF destroy the revolution along with the local tank commanders. Yeah, it's globalism, and we've launched it, and this is the first Jewish Pope. Let's see if we can still see the images of him that I showed you before I made video 1 on there's the burning of the witches. There is this could take ages, but Pope John Paul was the first Jewish Pope there is. Yeah, and he's got that cross with the slightly bent legs, yeah, which is, I forget the name of the cross, but that is a joke about the vagina and the anus and all of them being available as port of entries for all of the sexual deviancy of all of the Catholic clerics for all of human history. They're picked to be virgins initially, and that's on the timeline that will get the gales blowing again before the weekend. Yeah, and you've got the little swastika symbols that are all over the place, and all of that comes from the roots of the linguistics that take you into Hebrew and Yiddish. Yeah, and all of that is the Hebrew texts in the Old Testament that becomes the basis for the massive New Testament frauds that are run by the same teams, and the writing of the Talmud and the revision of the religious Jewish texts is done by George W. Bush's family in the frickin' Vatican in the last few years. And George W. Bush's son went to the same school in St. Albans in America as the actor in The Usual Suspects, Virgil Kint. Yeah, the little fraudster with the limp, yeah, who's prepared to steal from the world, pretending that he's in the Rothschild family, and his mate from the Newcastle region or the northeast of England, who played the vicious negotiator on behalf of Kaiser Soze, died really young, just a couple of years ago, and all of them have it coming at them. Okay, so the other pictures that we showed you in the lead up, I think we'll already have covered them. And this is Robert Maxwell. There he is with the paper. He is the plant and the belly laugh about the nuclear trading through the Republic of South Africa, near Cape Town, and all of the things that happen in Rhodesia, with all of the help of the cricket sector and Philippe Edmonds, who owns the Stocks House that the Butland owners now own. Yeah, and Saracens used to own. yeah, in the religious conflict sector, but that is Saracens, the rugby club, who are also asset stripping the whole of what used to be a great game and an amateur game, totally. Okay, he is in the Scottish armies that fight for the Protestants in the 30 Years' War in the 17th century, right at the beginning of the 1600s. Last image that we've covered in these 3 videos is of Princess Diana, and I've told you about her keeping the library in Althorpe that has now gone to Manchester University, and that is on the secrets from Naples, yeah, out of one of the massive villas that was run there by the elite families that are linked to the Pisos inextricably, and are also linked now to the Rothschilds and the Roseberries and all of the fat cat elites from the Jewish nation. The Otto joke and the Ottoman Empire is a joke about the Emperor Otto in Rome, who's a Piso family member, and it's all over the Piso websites and the Abelard-Reuchlin websites and also the Tutsi websites. But if you go to the Tutsi websites, be prepared to get a visit from the police, because that is the Operation U-Tree scam, because they've made it a pornography site now. Yeah, all of this they are totally ashamed of, and this innocent woman with the tiara, which is the Aryan joke around her head, she dies because the prince in London fancies another partner who was his first lover, but they're not allowed to choose their own wives. The Rothschilds do that for them for centuries, which is why they're totally illegitimate and why a lot of them get syphilis, and her children are actually sired by other people other than Prince Charles, which is why Prince Charles has not got enough of a royal blood claim to be included in the new laws of succession, revamped in 2012 when Greg Hallett was either killed or became as part of one of the confederations that are asset stripping the world by coercing all of the politicians to give the public's money to the villains. Yeah, that's the protection racket concept. Kate Middleton is accused of that and coercing out of Prince William the future of our kingdom. Okay, let me take you back to the timeline and I'll finish it off this evening. Yeah, it is shocking. Okay, so the 1980 earthquake is because John Paul visits the communists in Warsaw, and they've actually got local tank commanders waiting in the wings to jump in and destroy everything that they could have created as a sharing state with the ordinary people. Same happened in Yeltsin's Russia. Tank commanders in the Parliament building within weeks of him replacing the quisling man with the mark on his head, who was Gorbachev, one of the globalized fraud heroes, gives massive TED lectures all around the world, a massive millionaire at the people's expense, typical of the communist nations in inverted commas. Yeah, since the world owners in the G20 took them over as a subsidiary of this team. Okay, 1990, the city of Naples hosts FIFA's World Cup. Okay, this is the Fed, the protection racket's legacy of Byzantium and the Blue Danube protection rackets. So you've got the German nations and the Hungarian nations and the Slovak nations and Croatia and all of those brutalized countries in the Balkans coming to play football in the centre of the Roman Empire and the centre of Christendom. And I can't remember who got to the final that year. It might have been France versus Italy, because that's the Frankish West Coast cabal, yeah, against the hosts. Yeah, and the Germans are always in contention, and Sepp Blatter is always in the news at the moment, because this is just a joke about world history and the Roman Empire collapsing into a series of globalised protection rackets that mean that no one can ever fund their democracy or live in peace. And the artists are just propagandists to cover up the horrible truth. 1994, the city hosts the 20th G7 summit. 1995, and there are reflections of this in every capital city and economic host all around the world. Telecom Italia tower built, same as the London Telecom building. Okay, 2000. This is the millennium when everybody's scared shitless that our computers are going to collapse, and that the Mayan Empire and all that South American stuff, where they've brutalized it entirely. And I played the mission music, and the genocide in South America is particularly serious. Yeah, all of it. And there are people searching for gold all over that continent, and that is the treasure of the Sierra Madre movie. All of them are homeless. All of them are in diasporas, and God hates that, because it's a premeditated plan to promise them wealth and a glorious future, and all of them just get to live in a puddle for the rest of their life. 2006, the Il Napoli. It's quite sick really, isn't it? Yeah, this is the fraud centre for the whole world. It brings the banking frauds together with the religious frauds, the military frauds, the genocides, and all of the cults. And the secret societies are launched from the catacombs and the Mithraeum. And the secret societies now are the G8 summits and the G20 summits and the NATO meetings, yet run by the cross-dressing alcoholic that is Rasmussen from Denmark, that used to be a world power before Sweden took it over in the 30 years massacres on behalf of Christians, killing Christians from all of the European nations. 2007, the waste emergency, the uncontrolled crime, disfigure the image of Naples in the world. They had the same thing in Sicily within the last 3 years. Yet the rubbish people can no longer, because of the toxic debt pool that we talk about again and again, can no longer afford to run their local council and to empty the dustbins. And thanks to my efforts, they got 1% pay rise in last year's pay round. The union leaders everywhere are traitors to their members. I've met a Unison guy in Kelso, and he's now got my website details. I've not seen any fuss in the local paper, because the editor at the local paper is a slave to the Prince's Trust and fascism. That is Susan Windram. Johnson Press, Ashley Highfield, a whole empire of liars who are paid by the princes and the moneylenders and the busted banks to bust all of the innocent citizens and to twist their minds every time they pick up the local newspaper. Right then, I think that's the bottom of that, and that's quite a little snappy little video. What could I end with? Lily Allen is quite deviant. So have we done all of these? The 30 Years' War, the Viceroys, the Hippo groups. I think we've done all of them. I could show you, just to sign off, Lily Allen singing about the Piso menagerie. Yeah, we've seen now how everything in all of the stories about the pukas, the bunny girls, all of the rabbit stories, all of the elephant stories are from the same root in the Aegean. Yeah, and so that's 39 minutes in. I'm going to stop because it's quite unique for me not to drone on. Yeah, like the drones and the air balloons. Some of them are used to defend our country, some of them are offensive, and the Zeppelin thing that leads to the accidents, I don't believe those are accidents. Anyway, I'm going to stop. Okay, so we've done the history of Naples, we've shown you the interlocks between the banking frauds, British Prime Ministers, all of the visitors, including King Edward VII, who's there in league with the Rothschilds to murder the legitimate claimants to the British throne. That's Queen Victoria's first bastard child, by the Rothschilds, yet sired by the Rothschilds. Queen Victoria was by that time in her bigamous marriage to Prince Albert. Gonna stop. Okay, and please watch those videos and take them seriously, and get ready for the storms on the massive crimes of the dogma out of the church that make the humans the actual owners of the gods. Everything that they write is for manipulation of the minds, and the whole of our world has now consumed all of that, and it is to their own cost. That's the whiteboard joke again. Anyway, signing off. Night night.